Welcome to another episode of Modern Black Man Podcast. This week, I am joined by two of the best co-hosts in the business, Stop and Doug.
What's going on, world?
Hello.
I appreciate you making time. I know that time is very valuable. So I'm not going to waste yours. I think Doug, he was ready to get into this, and I'm very intrigued because I know he doesn't take anything lightly. Anything that he dives into, he's going to, and I know that he's going to have not just, I hate saying thesis, what does it say, a focal point, and he wants us to walk away with at least something. I'm anticipating it's going to be a couple of morals to the story that the man has to share with us. So, Doug, let me ask you, what's on your mind, man?
What do you mean, what's on my mind? That's not a question.
What is? Let me rephrase. What is on the tip of your tongue? What is on the front of your lobe? In all truth, I would like to know.
Okay, said in all truth.
1,000.
What's on my mind?
Because before we get to that, I'll let you contemplate. There's so many things going on in our world. I'm so serious. I joke and I laugh and I play and I reconcile a lot, but we are in the most unique of times, and we ignore it. We dismiss it. We don't acknowledge it. We have. Who cares about inflation, right? We don't have enough to live. The cost of our living increasing is bothersome for even the rich and the elite. It's showing us a lot about the economy and its principles if you're really watching. With that being said, I think that behavior has largely devolved to filth on all sides in everything that we do. I truly see it at this point. And I am disgusted with the fact that when older people always talk, our elders for years have been telling us what, guys? Fill in the blank for me, because you know exactly where this conversation is going.
The elders
Jesus coming back soon?
Not just what they say. It's the end of times, right?
The elders were filthy too.
There's nothing new under the sun if you guys are talking about the Bible.
I was about to say, let's bring up Ecclesiastes. All is vanity underneath the sun.
Ain't nothing new under the sun. Everything that's been going. Sodom and Gomorrah was nastier than all the whores that we know combined.
And a lot of people's grannies and grandpappies were slingers.
Absolutely.
Un momento, guys. I'm listening. I am listening.
I know where I come from. I'm not ashamed of anything. But I'm tickling my noodle because the anticipation is killing me from the homie Doug. He's alluding to, I don't think he's going to drop a bombshell. But there's...
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm ready. I know you're trying to kill time for me, but I was really just trying to see if I can suck you guys into asking me a question.
No.
How do you feel about the filth?
All right, so God bless you. Direct answer, and I quote, "Hath God not said?" That ring any bells?
Hath God not said?
One more time, have God not said?
I know you back.
One more time.
Hold on real quick. Let me.
I'm
just happened. These just went out. Okay.
like,
the quote I gave was from Genesis.
Hath
God not said?
Let there be light.
Lord. Okay, yeah, you can't hear me.
He said, "Hath God not said?"
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, what do you mean when what do I mean when I say that?
It
what do you think I mean in relation to the filth?
Ooh, Okay, you're taking it so much higher in relation to the filth. What the word of God is with, and you quoted, "Thou have not said." Is that right?
Hath God not said? Did
Hath
God
God?
say? Is it?
Oh,
Did God not say?
or when He's breathing life into the world. Which one is it?
What do you know? No, what? Okay, so this quote is from Genesis. Remember, the serpent was talking to Eve, and he asked her, "Hath God not
Oh,
said?"
now I said, "Eat from the tree of knowledge."
And what was the reason why not? What did God say versus what how she answered?
Oh goodness, that's a good one. And why don't we know this? We knew it as kids.
So
I don't.
I mean, let's take it in baby steps. What was God's actual command?
Okay, God said, "Do not eat from the tree." Not don't eat the fruit. Not don't go by the tree. He said, "Do not eat from this tree."
Why?
Was God's decree, because oh man, it was the tree of knowledge, and I can't tell you why. We weren't ready. We didn't deserve it. God protected us from it. The garden was designed to keep us from it. I don't know why. Shame on me.
No, it's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with not knowing. What do you think, Simon? Why do you think he said? What do you think the purpose of that command was?
What, to not eat from the tree?
To not eat from the tree of God, knowledge of good and evil.
Wasn't it to keep?
Remember,
Wasn't
he
it?
said in that day you will surely die. Like, what was he trying to say?
Oh,
What was the point he was making to man?
you're
To
in
try
it.
to protect them from the evils.
You need to do what I say, not what you think, because your mind can't be trusted. More or less.
I like it. I like it. Now, do me a favor, and I want you to try to relate that to today. Explain to me
Wow, you're blowing
how
my
this matters. Because if you want to know everything you need to know about God, you can learn it in Genesis.
dope.
So, I
Everybody with
mean,
your point, because I'm tracking. But think about that with today. Where does that lead us today? Do as I said. Wow, we don't do as he says at all.
no. Okay, so let's go a little deeper. Okay, because remember we were talking about the filth, right? You said what about the filth bothers me the most, right? When I really think about all that's going on, and you can take it in steps and increments if you want to travel down biblical like a biblical timeline all the way to now. That's even fine, but I think the best goal to understand is how we have decided we are going to do our own thing, and we have become a country that has walked away from God, literally. We
You know
have,
what?
as a country, we have decided that we're going to do our own thing. That was totally different from what we looked like 100 years ago.
Especially in our country, and listen to my conundrum, Doug. We are an individualistic country, and honestly, I guess religion is best served collectivistically, right? If you're a monotheistic God or not, it's served up better in a group. No one wants to drink the Kool-Aid by themselves, do they? Right? Like, so with that being said, you're taking it so many levels. Why is that?
Say that one more time.
You're taking it up several levels. Tell me, benefit me from the implications of this, the impacts of this, because we are delving deeper. Tell me these.
Well, let's. I mean, I'll personalize it for you for a second. Like, I was really thinking about the end times from the general standpoint. I wonder would it be like for a Christian in the end times, and I don't think we have truly seen it yet, but I think there will come a time where we will truly know what it's like to be what's the word I'm looking for?
Martyr.
Yeah,
Example.
okay, yeah. Essentially, that's the word I'm looking for. Not necessarily the word I'm looking for, but along the same lines.
It is a positive connotation, but you'd have to take it several levels deeper, and that's why it gets frustrating, because I be going there and you be going there too, and it's cool because if train A leaves Newark City at 7 a.m. and train B leaves DC at 9 a.m., we sync. But yeah, I get what you're saying. we do not apply his principles in anything that we do, and we expect to get his blessings in everything that we do.
I heard someone say today, he said there was a time when we were arguing about um, being married. That turned to an argument about what sexes can get married, which turned to an argument about is getting married only for a man and a woman. To now,
highly controversial topic.
To now being what is a man and what is a woman.
Yes.
So when you really just start going down timelines, you will see that we have gotten dumber as a people.
I want to write those two topics down because I want to talk about them. We could talk about transgender and the first point that you made. What was that?
Same-sex marriages?
Yes. Because we're punching down is where I was going to swing this, and it all really lays out pretty nicely because these are groups, these are subclasses, these are categories.
Where is punching down, man?
Well, no, like I said, these are groups that we're talking about, and that's why I'm certainly drawn in because I probably fit in multiple categories. Siren falls into multiple categories. You fall into multiple categories, but I don't think I will identify by anything that I am categorized as.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I'm saying we're going to have a really great conversation because you're saying some great stuff. We're talking about groups, Christianity, the Christians that were persecuted in their day, right?
That was the word I was looking for, persecution.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about in their day. I was talking about like what's to come.
Mm-hmm. A group, protected class.
Because if you were paying any attention, we talked about this a couple of shows ago. So I remember I was telling you about how a lot of Christians are shunned on like TikTok and avenues of approach like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only talked about it briefly, but shut up.
I'm only laughing because some of them don't deserve the shutting, but some of them do. But
I don't know that. I don't know that only because I don't watch TikTok.
It's not even TikTok. Like I think I told Chubby this. I don't think you were. I think I might have told Chubby this. I'm not sure, but maybe you weren't there. About I appreciate that everyone can speak their opinions on TikTok sometimes, or on not even TikTok, social media. But sometimes it becomes a little problematic, especially with, like, for example, I know for me, do I believe in God? Yes. Do I attend church? No. Church kind of turned me off simply because it seemed a lot of times when I would go, various reasons, but I don't know, the last time I went, it was extremely money hungry, and that became a problem for me. So I noticed not too long ago, there was a young lady and she got shunned, and I feel like she deserved this. There are a lot of Christian influencers who I feel like speak rhetoric to get attention. Mm-hmm. And it boils down to, I don't think it boils down to you want to spread the word. It boils down to this, because influencers make money, which is no problem. I don't want to stop nobody's bag, but at least if you're going to be a Christian influencer, spread the word. This girl was talking about how you're demonic or praising the devil. And she just thought these reasons. And she said doing yoga is praising the devil.
I want to talk about this though.
I'm like, girl.
My point. I think there's plenty of demonization in the church, Siren. I agree with you. And
that's not what she was saying.
Oh
no, I was just using an example of the girl. Yeah, the church has changed. I like the idea of community and fellowship. Don't get me wrong. There have been times I did go enjoy the church, but I know one time, especially I remember when I was younger and I was pregnant with my daughter, this lady pulled me to the side. She's like talking to me. She's like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet a fine young lady like you. You're not one of those teen." Like, now, mind you, I'm in the early times of my pregnancy. She's like, "You're not one of those fast girls, one of those teen moms." Like, I mean, she went on and on. She made me feel like shit. I never came back.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, I tried a few times after that, but I just really and I went to different churches and I just was not happy.
That's what I meant, Doug, when I said punching down, like that discouragement where she didn't feel like she could be welcome in the community. But ran away. He'll come back.
I'm sure he'll come back, yeah.
but that was the segue pivot I was trying to make. I think Doug was making some good points, and I want him to continue. But I feel that in all communities, all marginalized groups, this effect takes place, and I think we are in a very unique time because everyone does seem to be called to protect each other, to protect
The world, I think the world lacks a lot of community personally because we all are going to be different in some kind of way. Everyone
I
is
think I got
individual.
kicked off.
Yeah. I'm like, we like you disappeared for a
I
second.
think I got kicked off. I'm not really sure.
But
I mean, I about Siren, I don't want to dismiss what you were saying. I've left churches because there was ATMs parked out in the hallway. You know what I mean? It's nothing new, I should say.
and of course you want to give.
What I will say,
flourish. I said, of course you want to give and you want to see the church flourish, but like every hour offerings, you got the square out. Come on,
They was a little too good at getting their money. But do you think that's worse? Do you think these churches that do all the extra finesse, where it's like the Tabernacle of P Valley type stuff, is better? Because it does go in extremes. And yes, you heard me. Those churches that do too doggone much.
the Tabernacle of P Valley.
I don't even need to go into details. But what is? I'm asking, what's worse? Who's the bigger criminal here?
I don't know. In reference to who?
The family church that's robbing you at the collection plate every 57 minutes, or the raunchy church that makes you feel welcome, come as you are, or that Barnum and Bailey church that wants to put on a circus. I'm not trying to be funny. That's why I'm really trying not to say more words. All these things.
I would say that any church that is not utilizing scripture in order to come up with the basis of how they do ask or receive offering would be doing themselves and their members a disservice. But I can't put the entire church in a vacuum.
No.
So what I will say is, I mean, because I do know that type of church does exist, I would say that they need to pray and repent. But I can't blame the rest of the church on what they've decided.
Is it Creflo's fault that he needed a jet?
They can take. What's that one guy who was acting like he couldn't take commercial? Like, come on, bro.
That was him. That was Creflo.
The white guy, the crazy white pastor. What is
Billy Graham?
Not Billy Graham. You know, because he
all
was
of them crazy. Man, all of them crazy. Man. Like, they got a warped doctrine.
They give me. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show on HBO. That's the parody of the Mega Church Family.
I love it. Family Jewels, Family Gemstones.
Family Jewels, yeah.
I never heard of it.
Oh, it's a
really good in it, bro. He's a fool.
And what's the other guy's name? They did another show together. They're really funny. It's a really good
one from Workaholics.
Yeah, it's a really good satire of like a mega family church. I'm gonna be real with y'all though. The one church I have enjoyed, even though I don't believe in everything that goes into religion, Catholic Church.
Yeah, I go to Catholic Church sometimes too.
They do a lot of.
That's a totally different faith.
Yeah, they do a lot of. They do a lot of focus on the scripture, and I do enjoy that.
Have you guys ever gone to temple? I go to a temple. I know Doug would never.
I thought you said you go to Tony Evans Church.
That's why I go here. I'm just saying, like, it's called interfaith. I'm the interfaith deacon. We go to other churches and communities, and we have outreach. But don't worry about what I said, because it's
time. Don't worry about what you said. You said it.
Yeah, it's time to play a segment called "Let's Be Racist." So, Doug, would you go to any other church, tabernacle, synagogue, or worship center?
I don't know what you're asking me.
Would you do interfaith? Would you be okay with that, or are you so locked into your position that you refuse to put yourself in an interfaith position? It's simple. What I'm asking you.
You're asking me? You're asking me to go to other faith-based teachings?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not. That's like a person. That's like a person saying, like, let's just say hypothetically speaking, I knew that this book had
It goes so much bigger than that, though, because we are
133
all
pages.
children of God.
If I said that, right? If I said this, I know that this book has 133 pages.
You know what
and
Abraham
regardless of what you
is.
say, that much I do know. For me to go anywhere else is for me to really be sitting there trying to find out why they aren't talking about the 133 pages that I know to be true.
Okay.
So
I
do
would-
you
I-
not? Let me not cut you off. I'm sorry. I have a question.
I'm listening.
So do you not like? I don't want to say I take issue with it. You know what freaks me out about the Bible is it's been translated so many times. In
What's wrong with the translation?
Huh?
What's wrong with the translation?
Because it's been translated so many times through so many.
Wait, hold on. You just said these were your exact words. You said that it's been translated so many times. My question to you was, what's wrong with the translation? And your answer to me is, it's been translated so many times.
No, my answer. No, I'm gonna continue my statement. That do you ever wonder if anybody ever tampered or changed anything?
No, because I mean, because you have to be willing to go more into just, you can't go into this sort of thing with just blind faith, because if you're using blind faith, that means that it's not true faith at all, because you're not even trusting learning things for yourself. Like, you're literally just sitting back and just saying, God is a genie, and I'm pretty sure he's going to work it out no matter what I do.
I don't believe life works like that. I mean, for me personally, I just always am curious. Like, I've read some of the Bible, some of it. That's always just been in the back of my head again. Like,
well, I mean, the answer to your question would be that I also am aware of the archaeological proof. I'm aware of the historical proof, and it's been tested up against the rest. And what I've seen from the rest is they all have a contradiction within themselves, and they all do contradict the Bible. So I have to go with I would say my gut on this one, just because they all contradict the Bible in some way, shape, or form, and they all contradict themselves. So if they all contradict themselves, it leaves me at a stalemate of either I'm willing to believe whatever, or I'm going to believe what's known to be true.
I think that's beautiful. It's all about faith for me. You said that blind faith is a problem. I think that there's elements of that you need. We would be all night going back and forth talking about how awesome David was, because his heart was after what we all aspire to be. But as we read all these stories, we know that it was a tragic ending, as it was for everyone in that book, especially the ones that made it to high places. So very interesting. I think that's dope. We got to, kind of cover that ground. But I think that you and I, Doug, we talk about that group being walked on, Christians, how this group is marginalized. And I think that is very apt and very true as I talk about interfaith ministry and how important that is, because our houses of worship, our houses of faith, I think they could make a huge renaissance in many communities over the next 50 years if we used it appropriately, because many of us are tired of, we'll start with the Catholic Church because it's funnier that way. But their abuse scandals with, all the abuse scandals that went on there, or whether it's a Protestant church like I go to, those Baptists, they trying to squirt holy milk everywhere like R. Kelly. So,
You've been very disrespectful, I just want to be honest with you. That you've been extremely disrespectful.
I am being disrespectful because I think that it goes to show us that it's all people and it's all humans. And we're talking about this concept of punching down, how the slant comes. Look at him seriously, whether it is Jesus who was killed by the government, right? I think there's plenty that go with them. So the ebb and flow of this dichotomy is really interesting. And I did make much light, heavy jest. Absolutely.
I like that everybody understands those, because everybody is technically shitty. Everybody, the holy. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, like, again, I like the idea of that interfaith. I would have to like hear more about it, but I like that because I mean, it's nice to hear and learn about, like, just like you learn about cultures.
Mhm.
Everyone's different religion. Like I said, I enjoyed Catholic church, and I mean, hey, I liked it better than going to my regular black church when I was growing up. No offense.
Catholic church is very fun because there's so many traditions, and when you're baptized or you have communion in Catholic church, obviously there's more to engage with, like all of our religion.
I could focus more when I was like going to like
Yeah.
where was I going to church with my dad at? I couldn't focus. Everybody hopping up and dancing, catching the Holy Spirit, which is great for them. But can y'all sit down? Like I
Right.
didn't even get to hear what the sermon dang here because y'all. I like how you falling on the damn floor. I'm concerned.
Yeah,
You
That's
have a different
I'm really
experience.
not too. I wouldn't say I'm ever that I'm too fond of those churches that are very, very
Who's the
sugar filled. They're just it just seemed like everybody's extremely hyper, and nobody noticed that the pastor didn't really say anything just now. You know, he just did a lot of he read and then he gave his own a synopsis of what it meant, and then you know he gives a bunch of you know euphemism. What are they called?
Parables.
Anecdotes.
yes.
You know what I mean? But like, see, my problem with today's church, or I should say today's church goer, is they have a problem with they get bored with true learning. They get bored with you know expository preaching, which is me having a conversation to you as to what it means and what it said and what was going on in the time and how it relates to man in general, or how it relates to man past, present, and future, and how it
The
all
life that
relates
has
to
gone.
how what Christ why he went on the
Generation can't
cross and
take
why he had to die. Hold on, kiddo. Hold on.
Can't have one-on-one conversations. And they
Hold
can't.
on. So yeah, I think the problem in today's church is nobody's really learning anything. They're there just to either to get excited, to prime up their own faith, or to go pay their penance. You know what I mean? I think that's the overarching issue. Is like I said, we've got away from teaching the word. We're just there to preach and be merry.
It's still super long.
I don't know. My church is only an hour, so I wouldn't know.
Listen, when I used to go to church, you'd be there from 8 to 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, my church started at 12, ended at 1, so I wouldn't know. What I do know is, as far as this country is concerned, we don't look like we know our left from our right. That's why we don't. I mean, if you don't know what a woman, you can't define a woman at this point. In 200 wow, that's a lot of years. In 2022 years, we gotten to the point where we can't define stuff.
I want to talk about falling out next. I want to talk about falling out next, but I want to finish this conversation though for sure. I'm sorry. I was just saying.
You don't got me. I'm like falling out with people. Oh.
Yeah, like falling out with people. But please, I wanted to finish on this one because y'all all were making some real good points. I just was throwing that out there. Yeah.
You were asking the question, Siren?
No, I just was gonna say, I know me and Chubby were discussing about the WAP. Is that his name? WAP. Wet ass pussy. Is that his name? What's the right name? WAP?
Okay. That's why I dropped it. You were talking about gender. Bruh, it's this rapper, and I think he's from
I was just gonna bring up like he's from Chicago. I had to Google him because I didn't know him. He's from maybe he's not. I don't know. Forget I said that.
You gonna be upset, Doug. That's what
he is from Chicago.
Please
I
tell.
don't know who y'all talking about.
Oh, he can't hear.
It was a news story. Oh, can you hear me?
I hear you. I just don't know who y'all talking about.
Okay, so there's a news story I guess came out, and like everyone is just like in total, I guess, shock and despair that this guy is bisexual, and I kind of don't really feel like it's who cares. He's bisexual. Cool.
I mean, most rappers are now. Most of them.
I just like
Yeah.
I just
If
get
they're
surprised that
in the
people are
industry,
like,
they try some
oh.
gay stuff. Like that's bottom line. If they are.
I mean, why
currently
is
in
it
the
always
industry-
like I had to why is it always this gut wrenching big news? Because at the end of the day, if they kill somebody, people are excited and cheering, not batting a damn eye. So it's like, why do you like? Again, this is not affecting you in your household. Who cares? Like, you either gonna listen to his music or you not.
When he killed another black man with a gun, then fans that he lost by disrespecting the LGBTQ community. That's just how America works, or this machine works.
That situation with the baby always takes me off. Because the baby should have been canceled when he came down to Tampa and smacked that girl in the damn face. That should have been the end of his career.
So you believe in canceling?
I remember. I don't believe in cancel culture because I do think it's extremes. At the end of the day, humans are humans, and we are all gonna fuck up and make mistakes. I do believe in holding people accountable, and I remember when that situation happened, no one held him accountable. I'm gonna be very real when it comes to like the cancel culture and things like that, especially with the situation that happened with his disrespect to gay people. I feel like things get a lot of light when it happens when white people are offended. And I feel like that's what happened because, like I said, I stopped listening to the baby when he came down here and did that. That was enough for me because he unjustifiably smacked that girl in the fucking. I mean, he punched her for no damn reason. So I was pretty much done with him after that. I'm not canceling him, man. I just have no interest in listening to him anymore.
Respect that though, because you taking a real position. What was you gonna say, Doug? Yeah, that's wild. I think that we overreact at the wrong times and we underreact most of the time.
I agree. And I think, like I said, I personally think like it's like Lizzo with the spaz thing.
What's going on with Lizzo?
It's already kind of passed now. She said the word spaz in a song, and then this white TikToker who has cerebral palsy came out and said how the song offended her because she has cerebral palsy and she has spasms. And if you say spaz, it's ableist. And I'm just like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a reach.
So it became this big situation. And I'm just like, again, I feel like again, and there's no, I'm not racist, but I feel like when white people say it, everyone is on this cancel culture sympathy ride. But if one of us says it, it takes a whole, it'll get passed over.
So Black people have been leading cancel culture for decades. We just call it falling out.
I can agree with that
topic. It seems that when you reach the end of a road, transition is always appropriate. And
but you have to remember, it's always really hard. It's like canceling R. Kelly. Though you may not listen to R. Kelly's music, R. Kelly has penned a lot of music. So are you really
come over and eat? And he can still come over and eat. And he date my daughter, but he better treat her right. I heard about what he did to the other girl. He ain't gonna do it with my baby. Like, yeah, it's hard to reconcile with R. Kelly. It is. I don't
believe cancel culture is really not hitting. That man's still gonna be making bread.
But
his catalog is worth a lot, though.
Yeah, I'm like he's penned. Again, if you don't listen to him, he's written. The same thing with Harvey Weinstein.
And again, who owns his catalog now? So he doesn't own it anymore.
Oh.
I mean, Shaq owned Elvis. Hell, I don't know who owns R. Kelly at this point.
I think that is so crazy, though, how the music game works. You can lose your intellectual property that you sue everybody else for your whole career. But as soon as you pass away or it doesn't hit so Doug, we were talking about falling out. When you done with a situation, what does that look like for you?
What do you mean what kind of situation come up?
Falling out. You done. What does that look like? Like when it's OD, do you block? Do you delete? Do you? What does it look like? What's your problem?
Yeah. I think the first thing I do is I block the number, and I make sure that the what's it called, like the notifications for that number get turned off. And
What kind of water sign are you?
what kind of what?
Water. What's your zodiac sign?
What's my what?
Zodiac.
I don't know. I don't really pay that much attention to that sort of thing.
When's your birthday?
I think I'm a Virgo.
Oh, Virgos are cool.
Sorry, you just that seemed like you wasn't playing with it, man. You said when you done, you're blocking.
Well, I mean, doesn't that make most sense? I mean, if you tell a person to lose your number, you want to make sure that even if they find it, it's useless, right? I mean,
I have no judgment, because I want to know how you do things. I know how I'm gonna do it. I was just asking because everybody has a process. You chop limbs, you block. What's up? I respect.
Oh yeah, my cutoff game is strong.
Yeah.
Cutoff. You done? I'm done. Like a matter of fact, I'll tell you something that happened just this recent. Well, that had to happen to somebody that you. Matter of fact, I got a homeboy that used to live around here. Man, his name was Brian, right? And he used to live around here, right around the corner. He was a short dude. Anyway, one day out the blue, Cuz text me and tell me that he I'm saying that his he can't get a hold of his girl that live on base. You know what I'm saying? Can I come get him on base? And I'm like, yeah, me and Junior. It's 4th of July, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? I was like, me and Junior about to be going on base right now because we just coming from picking up some fireworks. So he told me that his girl was over at the park with her son. So that's why she wasn't gonna be able to get to the gate. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I let Cuz on, right? Fast forward, through the rest of the day, homeboy, I found out that the reason why he wasn't supposed to be getting on was because they broke up. And because they broke up, you know what I'm saying, that it wasn't that she couldn't come, she wasn't coming, you feel me? So when I found that out, you know what I'm saying, like I was just like, oh man, we through. You know what I'm saying? I was like, just lose my number.
Damn.
Lose my number.
I mean,
I agree with you there because he was trying to get you involved in some mess.
Yeah. I lose my number. Lose my number, bro. Like you started. I mean, it was some mess. I gave you the very, very short version, but yeah, it was way more than that. You know what I'm saying? It was way more than that on a night where I was feeling nice. You know what I'm saying? I just barbecued probably the best meal on this side of the country, period. You know what I'm saying? Like dinner was all that. You know what I'm saying? Desserts was all that. And then all of a sudden, one time is outside. Like it's just like, yeah, you kind of ruined it for me.
At your crib?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hit that. Man.
Yeah, like we through, bro. Like I mean, we through. Like you brought mess to my door. Like we through.
Yo, like how like suburban white heads trip when people speed down the block. That's like, yeah. Okay, all right. I already know. I feel bad for him. So, what about you, Siren? What's your cutoff? What's it like?
If I cut somebody off, yeah, I'm a blocker.
Are you?
Oh yeah, it is. No, don't get me wrong. I am a water sign, so depending on who it is, I am.
Are you a Cancer?
I'm a Cancer. So, but I mean, though, if I'm done with you, I've definitely done that with people. I'll block you on the phone. I'll block you on Instagram. I'll block you everywhere. We ain't talking.
Yeah, real talk. Oh, real talk.
I mean, there's some people, if it's a mile falling out and it's something, because I mean, again, I don't believe in everything and having these big dramatic ends. If we just come to the end of our road, we come to the end of the road, I'll still be here to support you, But for them people who I'm done with, oh no, we're done. And you got
to. Do you believe in relationships?
I was about to say, before you say that, like I got family, like that met that bitter end, bro.
Yeah, I have family. Look, my family can have my number, but I have family who I have definitely blocked from my social media.
We don't talk to them, and it's okay. I still love you, but I mean, we don't have to talk.
I think that's we're talking about falling out. I think black folks used to try to make it work with people that was stabbing them in the back and hurting them and holding them back. And I think it started changing because I got family now that I don't talk to that I never would have envisioned things going out like that. And then you see people dying and you have people die. It's heartbreaking.
It
So
is, but you also got to think about too. There are some people who are never going to look at reflect inwards and never change. So, are you going to really spend the rest of your days trying to fight back and forth, get manipulated by them, have them running all over you? I mean, I hate to say it, like, I mean, it's not. I mean, again, I hate when people die, but also it's a natural thing. So. I know that's mean to say, but I mean, I don't want to waste again. If we to that point where we cannot get along like that, you don't need to be in my life stressing me out.
Amen. No, it's like I said, I never thought I'd be at that point and have that experience, but I've absolutely gotten to that point. I've had that experience. Family, you have to cut off. You can't be around. You can't entertain. Um, so yeah,
I just told somebody about how me and my biological father, we do not talk.
I used to be like that with my biological dad. Like I used to resent and really upset, and then I just, I had a transition. I can relate to that very much.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, for me, like I was just telling my friend, it's no ill will. It's just that I kind of got tired of fighting for a relationship with somebody who wasn't really interested in having one with me. So it's life.
It hurts when you acknowledge truth in that situation because everybody wants there to be some kind of draw, and when the parent doesn't care, it can make it, what it is. But
Hey, go to therapy and thug it out.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. We talked about falling out, and then I think we were ending on one final topic. Before we get to our last topic, was there anything else that you wanted to add or discuss?
Block them people today.
I mean, I think falling out is necessary sometimes, to be honest with you, because it's about how people respect you. They know they can't be in your space. They don't respect you. At this point in life, I don't have regrets in the cutoff because I have to have everything moving in a certain order for myself to function, my operations to function, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If we can't march to the beat that I'm pounding out, like that's cool. Everything ain't for everybody. I'm an acquired taste. Like that's fine. I respect that because if I was for everybody, nothing, I wouldn't enjoy a thing. And I think that's why I enjoy what I'm doing, with everything so much right now because it's one of one.
Boundaries.
I mean, I didn't used to be like that, but you evolve and you grow and you learn, and there's nothing more dangerous than a naysayer. There's nothing more dangerous than a cynic, and I totally understand how we read history now because E2 Brute, um, Lucifer, Satan, was an angel, and he was the most powerful. But what happens in these relationships? What happens in these connections? We have, is it a yin and a yang? Is it, what is it, Doug?
I'm not sure. I just think that when it comes to family, or I should say, whatever it is that we're referring to, family, it's hard to cut them off sometimes, but sometimes it need to be done. Friends that turn to people we knew. I feel like Siren, man. Like people die every day, and you're either part of that short list that I grovel and grieve over, or that big list that I feel bad over. And then the other ones, I mean, it's what 13 trillion or billion people on this planet. Like, I mean, I'm just really not.
8.
Whatever. Okay, 8 too.
It doubles by 2 billion or a billion every decade. So
I'm just saying there's people die every day,
continue.
man. Like you're gonna fall out the picture.
Yeah,
You're gonna fall out the picture.
population, people aren't living as long, and we're not having birth as much. That is death. Sorry, I don't know. You get that? The Bible, like it's about life, the book of life. Like people aren't getting married, aren't having kids. They aren't.
Listen, these babies are expensive.
I say this probably every episode I do of the Modern Black Man podcast, but I found out through a colleague that was on my show. Did you know that more single black men are not fathers than single black men than are? So, like, more than 50% of black men do not have children.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can believe, and it's a lot. I've had like discussions with people. I know back in a couple years back, I took a social problems class and just reading. There's also economics that play into again why marriage and children bearing is down because it is like
Yeah,
it's
it is.
costly. It's costly.
You have to plan. You can't just like say you suck at the pull-out method. Like you got to get nuclear bombs in here. They revoked Roe versus Wade, right? So abortions are the ultimate sin, right? Death is horrible. Catholics used to believe that prophylactics were the ultimate sin. Birth control is the ultimate sin. We don't know. I don't know because I'm not him, but I just throw that out there because we in some new territory.
We are, but shoot, I be always asking people. I mean, I just had a friend have a baby, and she was telling me costs and stuff like that. I mean, just for like,
what happens if they mess with the prophylactic? What if they got rid of birth control and condoms? They make that illegal next.
Birth control, though, is such a touchy one too, because besides children bearing, there are a lot of people who use birth control for medical reasons. So it would be a big issue. I mean, like I know quite a few people who use it for medical reasons, and not even for pregnancy prevention. So that would be very
clears up your skin, makes your hormones right, stops you from bleeding too much.
Well, yeah, I mean, for like your people who hemorrhage, and I mean, again, like it already has been like quite an issue. I know, like I had a few years back, I had a birth control that was making me actively like dangerously hemorrhage, and I had to pay a crazy amount out of pocket to get it taken out.
Endo, I think you get helped with that.
There's quite a few different things. I mean, like acne and stuff like that. No, birth control can cause other things, but
nothing.
No, it doesn't really help with acne.
I said, okay. I remember back in the day they used to say it was one you take it and it's supposed to help with acne. I forget whichever one.
I know there's a medication you can take for acne where you are legally blind to take birth control because you can't get pregnant on it. What is it called?
Accutane.
Yeah. Accutane. You have to take birth control on Accutane.
Why is okay?
Because Accutane, because if you get pregnant and have a baby on Accutane, you can like severely, because Accutane is that strong. You go on Google and look up Accutane babies, and you'll find out.
My girl was on Accutane, and she's shown me the Accutane babies, and she's a pharmacist.
Yeah. So that's why you have to sign a contract and everything. Like you cannot give her. You have to they usually like prescribe you birth control, but you cannot. Those babies are, oh my gosh, it's horrible.
I've seen it. It's just like. I've heard that before too. I guess every time I hear it, it's terrifying because you have to be on birth control because you don't want to give birth to an Agent Orange baby, pretty much, because that's what you're doing with the.
I don't think a lot of them even survive.
Sorry, that was a switch. I
always think about that from when I went to school.
Because it's interesting. No, I've actually seen that, and it's like. Quick segue, guys. Stay with me. Pharmaceutical drugs are very, very powerful. They're more than we need, and I think that's why we are sick and how we're getting degraded. That's all. That was a quick segue.
That's an interesting conversation. We might have to talk about that one day without me like giving away my career. But
no, I would love to do that because it is interesting. Is it progesterone? You have to take it, or the cell will eat the fetus. Like,
progesterone is out like when you're pregnant, your body produces it.
mm, so when you have probably miscarriages, you lack progesterone because your hormones are the reason why the baby's not making it.
Well, there's so many tricky reasons. Like, and then again, honestly, if you like, for example, first trimester of pregnancy is usually when people experience the highest chance of having a miscarriage, and usually most of the time, doctors won't really like dive into the reason why somebody had it.
Anyone
So
that's thinking about 30% of all pregnancies end in, I don't know what to call it besides the F word. Not successful. About 30%. Is that right?
yeah, I think that's the number. It's my, I'm not, my specialty is not OP, unfortunately, but
Oh,
there can be so many. I mean, it could be chromosomal things. Why it could be. I mean, it could be so many reasons why. It could be overstress. It could be so many reasons why you miscarried. It's really tricky to like kind of pinpoint.
but we're talking about like kind of segueing on abortion and birth control. Like
Oh,
there's so many things. Life is precious. So many things can take it away. Don't lose the importance of life. That was all my major point was going to be on that. Doug, you tip us on the last focus area before we break.
that
Nope.
was tricky.
No.
Oh,
I was just listening.
yeah. I'm gonna talk about summer 2022. What's up with this summer? This is a different time. Is it because we're not watching TV? Is it because everything is slowly coming back to normal? Everybody's getting practice. I feel like there's another lockdown around the corner. COVID,
Gas prices got people on lockdown. Basically,
gas prices have gone down.
yeah, I can't even.
Yeah, but it's still too much, and we're still in Texas. And I'm asking everybody, what's popping with summer 2022? Is this a good summer? Is this what we think it is? What do you think, Doug? What's up with 22?
I mean, you're just gonna have to learn how to live in a country that have leaders that care more about other countries and what benefits them rather than us. Just gonna have to learn to live. You're gonna have to learn to live like that for the next few
Are you
years.
mad at Biden for doing the fist bump?
I don't give a doggone about Biden, man. Doesn't have a clue what day it is.
I just think about when he fell off the bike. I know that was mean to laugh.
He don't even remember that.
It was such a.
I feel bad for him because he didn't know that happened.
I tried not to laugh, but it was just like
I laughed hard.
He came to a stop and then he tumbled over, and it was.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think Cuz is there at all, man. Like you're just saying, he's just not there.
They have a weed pack named after him called Sleepy Joe.
Well, you know, we're not going to talk about that. We know having an election, and there's nothing that anybody can do. I think this one's a terrifying rap before any ballot. So I don't even feel active. I remember close to 20 years ago, I felt so invigorated. And, we're gonna change the world. And you go out there, and you try to, politic. You try to campaign. You try to help out and organize. I hate people now. Is it because I got older? Did the world get worse?
I like my local elections still. I mean, the bigger elections, I kind of just have kind of been like.
Well, but the way Malcolm X looked at it, he looked at it as that when a person starts to ingest the political climate, they are growing up because they care about more of the things than what's around them. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Who did you say says this again?
Malcolm X said this. Yeah, but he it's essentially what he was just saying is that, when a person, starts to engage into the political climate of, their neighborhood, like Siren said, or the federal political climate, they're just growing up and they're learning about what makes things do what they do. Like, when you start paying attention to taxes and you start paying attention to different markets, those are the things that are showing that a person is growing up. So it's not a bad thing. I don't care. I mean, my whole thing is I don't care party to left to right. Really could care less. My whole thing is if you're going to vote, you really gotta vote with more than just emotion. You gotta vote with reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of how it makes somebody feel, maybe the hard no is a good answer sometimes. I mean, it works for kids. It should work for the country, I think.
You know, I couldn't agree with that more. And how crazy is it that we only have two political parties? Who are we kidding? We got Bloods and Crips. That's it. And they've gone back and forth for like the last year, morphing into each other. Because I think that there's a little bit of truth in that, if you're with me. The polls, I think they're the damn same now. You feel me? The Democrats can't get anything done. They're the derelicts that we tried to make the Republicans out to be in the 90s. That's what's happening. They flip-flopped. And the evangelical platform, I think, is dashed in credibility with the fact that we care about life being inception, but we don't care about the living. You know what I mean? Like, instead of us trying to do any paternalistic wrong, instead of us being wrong and having paternalistic policies that help get you a safe track to success or fortune or whatever you want to call it, security, financial security, whatever, we have the effed up system that we have now. Wait a minute. I'm a part of that system, the social services system, where we have to.
So I have to. Only thing I'm going to push back on all of that was from your jump. You started off by saying it sounded like you said something in contrast to the living versus who?
The fetuses.
So essentially what you're saying is because they haven't come out of their mother, they're not important?
Yeah, we care about inception. That's it. But like, once we can call it life, you're effed. Just how you got here. You're gonna have to figure this out. You will not have the option or the ability to cancel life because we called it life, which should be evangelical platform, but it's perverse, it's wicked, it's wrought with the devil and Satanism because we don't care about the quality of life, i.e. having, and it's totally moralistic, right? Instead of having the morals as the foundation.
I get what you're saying. I agree with that. Like, again, like, I noticed that, like, the Roe v. Waiters who are like, oh, like, we need to get rid of this. This, like, I noticed with people, okay, you want the poor mother to give birth to this child, but then let them end up on welfare, and then everybody has a bunch of broke ass welfare mothers. Well,
over 40% of people that get abortions are upper middle class.
And again, I can't even, but like I always say, even if I wouldn't have an abortion for myself, I don't want there to come a day where people feel like they have to be forced if they want to make that choice to get a back alley abortion, and now we have somebody bleeding out and dying. It's not about
what's the huge difference between somebody pulling something out in an alley and somebody pulling something out in a room. You're still pulling somebody out of somewhere that they
have access to safe care, which everybody in this country deserves. Again, like I don't see anybody running out to adopt these damn kids.
Are you sure you don't see that? Is there a difference between what you got?
These white people who are fighting for Roe v. Wade are going to still have access to abortion.
And your hood girlfriend to get an abortion, because I took Kiki to go get an abortion, and we wouldn't got.
Hold on, because I feel like hold on, chill, seriously. What were you saying?
Who, me?
I'm sorry, I could, you.
I
really couldn't catch anything you were saying.
I was saying it's funny because all these upper crust, holier than thou people who are so against Roe v. Wade, let one of their daughters get pregnant and want an abortion. I guarantee she'll have access to a safe abortion.
So I mean, I would say ask the question to somebody that has a daughter. See, because I mean, me personally, and I won't talk for anybody else that lives in this house, but I know, because I mean, honestly, me and my wife might disagree on this, but I know that I cannot in my right mind think of any way or reasoning to murder anyone. So regardless of who the baby starts in, that's not changing anything for me. I mean,
You're saying you raised
honestly,
I mean,
my daughter has the
I have
perfect
a
right
daughter,
to.
so that's why I raised my hand. I have a daughter.
That's what I'm saying. I can only speak for me.
Yeah. So I mean, again, if even though I am somebody who has never had an abortion, I don't see myself getting one. If my daughter wanted to have an abortion when she was older, mommy is gonna be right there to support her if that's her choice. I don't want again. That's what I mean. Again, this is up to people. Who is to say? Like I said with the joke last week, everybody talking about they believe in birth at conception. I don't see anybody baptizing stillborn still. So again,
Say that again.
I said everybody's talking about life is at conception. Well, no one is baptizing stillborns.
What sense does that make to even say?
It makes a lot of again because how are you guys saying this little something that is not functioning?
You listen to what you just said. You just said something that a person does in order to show their outward relationship with Christ. That we should do to stillborns just to show that they're alive.
They're born. They came out. Are you gonna? Are you gonna go baptize the little fetus? Because you're saying that they're alive at this point. So I mean, again, if that's the
that's what I'm saying. That's my problem with your reasoning. There is no reason to baptize a baby. That's not biblical.
Well, that's controversial. Theologian.
No, it's not controversial. It's not controversial.
They baptize.
There's a difference between Roman Catholicism and Catholicism. There's a total difference.
I mean, but to me, everybody, no matter what you guys all believe in God. Everyone.
Hold on. That's not, there is a total difference between the God I serve, which is Jesus Christ, and someone that prays to Mary, someone that prays to Paul or Judas or whomever. They pray to somebody else. That sounds like a totally different God to me. It sounds like they just prayed to 500 or 600 other people, and I only pray to one. So I don't
segregated.
Segregated. What was it? What you throwing all of these human terms out to try to understand God?
Because I feel honestly, because like I said, I do believe in God, but I feel like personally organized religion is very like. How do I put it? It lacks it lacks a lot of community because it's always like you guys all believe in God, even if they are praying to Mary.
You have the same problem with organized religion that street ballers have with organized basketball. One is organized and yours isn't. I think the total issue with it is rules and what I can't do and what I want to do. I think that's the only difference between someone that chooses to follow Christ by any means necessary and someone that feels that they can be their own God. Now, if you feel like you can be your own God, which is the only other option, that's what we're talking about. Had God not said.
I respect everybody's faith, but I think, like I said, I think it is like to the point where it's like, we believe in this guy, we believe in this guy. Like after a certain point, it kind of just gets like, to me, it's like, okay. Really,
that's not. I
don't believe anyone trying to lead themselves. Again, you guys all, even if they are praying to Mary, do y'all not believe in the same God? Yeah or nay?
No, we don't. Apparently not. Apparently not. Because if I put it like this, if I believe Christ is true, then I have to be willing to believe everything He says is true, and I have to also be willing to do what He says. So. I mean, me personally, I believe in let's just trust the one that rose from the dead. Let's trust that one. So, I mean, if I can make it as simplistic as possible, that's how I would.
But in the Catholic teaching, He didn't rise from the dead. In the synagogue, they're not teaching that He didn't rise from the dead. They're all you guys are all.
No, they're not teaching that. No, they're not.
They're not teaching that.
You're not going to go into any Jewish temple, any synagogue where they're saying Jesus actually rose from the dead. You're not going to go in any Muslim temple where you find that Jesus even died. You're not going to go into any Jehovah's Witness temple.
I didn't bring up the Muslims.
And you're not going to go into any Jehovah's Witness temple where they try to say that Jesus wasn't crucified. These are things that they actually say. You might know your Google version of it, but I'm telling you what I know from research is they're different. There is a total difference in Jesus in every religion than there are with the one true Jesus Christ of the Bible.
But there are some fundamental similarities.
There
that,
are
like,
fundamental similarities, but there are astronomical differences in how it's taught.
so
And
those
once it's
fundamental
taught,
similarities don't bring anybody to believe that we might all be talking to the same guy.
no, not at all.
Wow.
Like,
Not at all. I think that would be foolish,
we
honestly.
I think in a lot of outreaches, ministries, the interfaith is a very powerful arm and agent because it is about understanding and correcting misconceptions. Doug, you are the Christian friend that's at the extreme, and I love that. But I have, a spectrum like we should in life, right? And we need that because I need you to see things through your eyes and your experience.
See that's ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to say I am a Christian, if you're going to say those words, then you have to be willing to also live that life. Just like a Crip say he a Crip, you can't just say I'm a Crip, but live like a regular person and just live there. You run your 9 to 5, but you cripping on Saturday and Sunday. No, it just don't work like that. I mean, take allegiance to something.
Yeah.
Take allegiance to something. If you're gonna take allegiance to anything, at least choose the one. If you believe any of them is true, then you have to also believe that you also need a savior. I mean, and I'm just saying, and this from just looking at it as a Christian. I can't speak for anybody outside of Christianity because they don't believe they need a savior. So I can only talk to those that believe they need a savior. So if you believe you need a savior, then you also have to be willing to stand behind him and stand by him regardless of how it makes other people feel. He said that he literally said that trusting in him is going to make you lose relationships with other people. He said that. He said that you're going to lose your brother, you're going to lose your sister, so on and so forth, because of me. He said people are going to hate you because of me. He said those things, right? So you have to be willing to either live with it. You have to either be willing to live with it or totally dismiss it.
So nobody else's faith tells them to stand behind Christ like that. I mean, that's why I don't like when I look at other religions, I still see those fundamentals. So it seems like it's like a elitist level.
This is how the Bible is totally different. Jesus is the only person in antiquity or human history for that matter that said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man can come to the Father except through me.
So what is your denomination specifically? I'm sorry.
I don't even know what that means. I am a follower of Jesus Christ. But
I'm saying but you would have to again if you're I'm asking.
I don't have to. No, I don't. I don't have to do nothing.
So
all I got to do is if you can find any denomination in the Bible, then maybe I'll answer that question. But since I know that you won't, I won't make you waste your time. You won't find any denomination in the Bible. None of that is biblical. That's what the Protestant church took away from the Catholic Church. That's something we actually
Martin
took away
Luther
from the Catholic
created
Church.
Baptists under the umbrella of the church.
Actually, the Baptist Church came centuries after Martin Luther had left this earth. So, but at any rate, what I'm simply
to a Christian church essentially.
Yeah.
But in your Protestant, fool.
I just said that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So you're a Protestant?
All Christians are Protestant. There's just a lot of sects that you were just talking about. Any church that's broken off, any church that's broken off from the Catholic Church is a Protestant church.
So it's not a okay.
No, denominations are sects. You can think that this is just a man-made way of getting closer to God. That's what a religion is.
I can't think of the name of the sect, but they believe that you close your eyes and you just die. There's no afterlife. There's Christians that believe all kinds of different individualistic things. Jehovah's Witnesses. I would consider Jews and Abrahamic religions as in the family, but you don't. They're remixes of the same thing.
Judaism is
called the same different names, but they do jive, and faith is a beautiful thing. The reason why they jive through so many history, so many people through time and history is because there's accuracy in it. Is a good truth that I feel my conviction. And that's one of the things that makes me feel so good about that. But I just wanted to throw that out.
But what conviction, though? I mean, that's the question I'm posing. Is the person really convicted if they can find cause to invite other idols into their temple?
Well, no, that's ideal circumstances. That's being militant. That's being the way you want to be, because it's about conviction. And you shouldn't have any weaknesses, especially in religion. But I think that it gets to a point, all religions, you can be a Islamic extremist. There's Catholic extremists, Ku Klux Klan members.
Extremists in every group.
In every group, because that's human nature. So to answer your question, I think that that's where the conviction comes in. It's in your heart. It's so powerful because it's inside.
That's a circular argument, man. My question to you was simple. All I said was, how do you define conviction if you are willing to bring other idols into the temple? Where is the conviction at? When do you see too much?
Yeah, I win that argument in any way. I think that you try not to have the distraction or bring it. You don't. It's an absolute. Is what I'm saying. You can't bring false idols.
Okay, so this whole idea of I forgot what you called it, but it sounds like this mixture of religions, philosophy can't work.
No, what's wrong with that human connection of getting to know other people and their beliefs, even if you don't agree with it?
It's not hard to do such a thing. I mean, even
you don't that's cool. It's because think about it. You don't condemn people. Whatever, we talk offline. You can't condemn people. Man doesn't do that. God does. So I mean,
but where's the condemnation coming in? Well, when were you sentenced?
Further,
I mean, it is kind of condemnation if you're saying my religion is the only, like my religion is right, yours is kind of like on the.
I don't remember anybody ever saying those words, sir.
You didn't say that exactly, but it kind of.
But then why? Then you can't say that I said it.
I'm making it. I'm gonna just make an ass of myself and assume.
You said you get off course when you go to outside, right? Yes or no?
No, I said I think you go off course when you bring something back in. See that therein lies your issue. Therein lies your issue. What you're trying to portray it as is evangelism, and that could work. That could work. But what you have also said is that you combine everything under one umbrella.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
Yeah, by combining one umbrella. What do you mean?
What was the name of your program that you were going through? The
Interfaith Ministry. It's when the Jewish kids come over and the Islamic kids come over. They get to see church. We get to go to the synagogue. We get to go to the.
So that's what I'm saying. My question to you. My question to you is what's the end all be all of that for the one person?
Time out.
I mean, there's fellowship. There's learning.
No, that's not. I said for one person though.
You understand that, right? Like this is.
Say that again.
Jesus was on earth. Other people of other faiths were there also. He talked to them in the Bible. That was his thing. He created disciples to spread the gospel.
Well, I mean, since you said that, just tell me where to go to find it. Tell me where to go to find it. I'll wait.
No. Assyria, those were Islam. I don't know where fucking Constantinople and Turkey is, but that was another one.
Do you know how far Jesus traveled in his lifetime? Let me help you out. He didn't go that far.
He didn't. He went. He didn't go to Egypt.
He interacted with all types of people, correct?
But Egypt and Assyria.
I'm only going by the recorded word.
Okay, it's the other side of the Mediterranean, and I don't know. But aren't the Assyrians supposed to be the nastiest ones? The Sumerians, the Assyrians, that part of the world. Oh my gosh, come on, man.
When in the New Testament do you even see the word Assyrian?
Oh man, stop playing with me. Okay.
You're not going to is why I'm saying that, because you're not going to.
Yeah. And I don't remember where's where, and it bothers me. But I used to
The,
know.
the only time you saw Jesus arguing with anybody in reference to religion, he was arguing with the
Pharisees.
Pharisees and the Sadducees. The religious leaders at the time.
They
I
were
mean, he
rebellious.
lived in Jerusalem. So
Yeah.
there was only one religion where he lived,
and
and
it
that was Judaism.
and it discussed
So
him how they were
hold on, dude.
using
Like,
him.
hold on, real quick. Hold on. So him never having traveled outside of that, his preaching was always to other Jews. There was one time where you see him you see him go to a well where he's talking with a woman from a totally different.
She was a prostitute.
She was just promiscuous, and she had a lot of wives. I mean, she had a lot of husbands.
Yeah.
But I'm saying all that to say that Jesus never dealt outside of dealing with Jews or his own people for that matter, except when he was dealing with people like.
When you say that, honestly, I think of all the little. I just think of all the customary things that come about with that. I go towards geography, if that makes sense.
Not necessarily.
Okay. I'm listening to.
But yeah, I mean I mean everyone else did, and all the disciples they seem to have seen outside of their own span of influence and changed the world from where they went. I don't know how we got to a geographical conversation, but
Peter got to
no, yeah, but yeah, Jesus never went to other countries to preach to anybody of different faiths. That never occurred in the 3 years of his ministry.
Hold up, Jesus got with Noah. Did Jesus get with Noah, or was that Job? I'm thinking of.
You breaking up a lot. All I heard was Job. I'm thinking about.
Don't worry about it. This has been a really good episode. I think we've had a really good conversation. I just appreciate y'all making the time. I hope we can get back with it next week and keep the knowledge coming. Do y'all have any projects that you want to share before we break?
Not currently, unfortunately.
No.
Nah,
I'm enjoying my birthday week. No problem.
What about you?
Nah, man. You know, as usual, man, follow Lasting Remedies on IG. You can find me on Google.
Appreciate you. Y'all see where to get me at. I need to make more efforts on Fanbase. I have access Fanbase in a few months. I think that's a really interesting social media app. I want to get more engaged with Stereo. So if you want to check me out on those two platforms and TikTok and Twitter, that's all I'm up to. Till the next episode. Peace.
Hey, don't jump out.